Welcome back to our channel. I think you might be able to hear my dog, Captain and co-pilot Willow, snoring in the background. It's something she's really good at. Today I'm looking at my Pimax Crystal and running a check on it with the new firmware and the new Pimax Play software. Let's just go to settings and see where we're at here. So I have the latest version, which was released a couple of days ago, 1.18.02.01. And it has some stuff in it that I already had in the beta, and I'm curious to see if it still works, because sometimes when I go from beta to the finished product, things get lost. So let's walk through it together. Let's go back to the Pimax Crystal icon at the bottom here. And let's go to device settings and see what it says for advanced. Auto lens setting, it has selected 35 ppd glass, that's correct. I have video see-through on. Now, double click the HMD to see. I'm not sure what the switch is. It used to be that you just tap the headset on the left side twice. Tap, tap, and then you had the view through. And the see-through is not amazing, I have to warn you. It's good if you need to pick something off your desk, or if you're like me and you have a flight sim setup that has an independent throttle and prop and pitch and all that stuff, along with an instrument panel of radio controls and switches. It's nice to be able to see where they are on your desk just when you're in VR, because they're invisible, of course. This is not anything like augmented reality, though. It's just a low-res image that allows you to find what you're looking for on your desk, which is still very handy. And I think for standalone games, it would be sufficient to pick something up that you dropped on the floor. But anyway, let's get on with the rest of our look at this. Automatic active play area. I'm old and tired. I have no idea what that means, but all my stuff is seated. I don't do the stand-up games at all. As close as I've got to that is Half-Life Alyx, and I've only played the first 10 minutes of that. Let's go to General. I've got the latest firmware. It's selected headset as audio output device. Okay, so that means I'll be hearing the sounds of the game through the headset, which is fine. It sounds great. But I like to use my own microphone. So let's go to sound settings. You can see that I'm using the Pimax headset for my audio. I've got the DMAS headphones, and they're excellent. But for my output, I've selected my Focusrite USB preamplifier, which is hooked to a Neumann microphone, studio microphone, which gives me a little better sound, I think. It is kind of awkward in VR, though, because I keep doing stuff like this. Boink. Knocking my head into it. But I like the sound I get, and it's the microphone I'm used to. So the Pimax microphone itself, though, if you're looking for it, is much easier to find than it used to be. It used to be called some weird 11 AC 333 12 something or other, and now it says Pimax streaming microphone. Well, I don't select it, but it actually isn't bad. I've used it in the past. But if you have a studio microphone and you have a recording studio, you might as well use your studio microphone, he said pompously, but without a trace of arrogance. Now let's go to games. And I think I'm just going to try playing IL-2. I've got dynamic foveated rendering off because IL-2 doesn't support it. Smart smoothing is off. I'm going to be playing this in Steam. So I think what I'll do, now you can start this several ways. I can go to games in here on the settings menu in the Pimax experience and scroll down till I get to IL-2 right there, Battle of Stalingrad. Or I can go to my assets and start it from here. Yes, you bet my assets I can. I bet my assets. Anyway, or you can do what I'm going to do here and start Steam. You can start Steam from here, but I'm going to start it from my desktop. I'll just minimize this, let Steam wake up. It'll probably want to check for an update. In the meantime, I can tell you my favorite joke for kindergarten kids. I was a teacher for a long time, so I'm always looking for teacher jokes. And kindergarten kids are so much fun, grade 1 kids, because they're learning how to print. The grade 1s are just learning how to print, and they find it really interesting and fun. And so I tell them this joke. I say, okay, kids, because they're kids, say, why do geese form the shape of a V when they fly? And the answer is because G's are too hard. Well, kids like it. Honest, they like it. All right, let's just click on aisle 2, battle. Oh, here's a game. I'm just moving over to this one. I've been trying to figure out how to make this wrench game work, but I'm not very smart about stuff like that, so I can't demo it yet because I haven't gotten very far in it. But it's a mechanics game, and as somebody who has spent 10 years restoring a car very slowly, I kind of like games like that. But let's try aisle 2. Take a minute for it to boot. It's launching. I can also launch FPS VR. FPS VR, okay. So now let's just see where we're at with aisle 2. It's loading. I'll just minimize this. Get rid of this. Minimize that. We'll launch in VR in Steam mode. Because again, aisle 2 doesn't play with Open Composite. So I'm not using OpenXR or Matt's wonderful OpenXR toolkit or the Pimax XR controller. All right, let's play. We can check my settings in Steam. If you want to see what your OpenXR settings are, if you go down to here, settings, I think that might tell us. If not, I've got my resolution here. Let's go to video. Yeah. OpenXR, I'm not using. I'm using Steam VR instead, but you can select it here. I can select the Pimax OpenXR, or I can select Steam XR, but I'm selecting Steam VR for this game. I found that with my system, which is an i9900 and a 3090 with the Pimax Crystal, IL2 works perfectly fine in Steam VR. I get 40 or 50 frames per second. I'm also curious to see what my new drivers from Nvidia look like, because I just installed the latest drivers. But I won't bore you with that now. If they don't work, I'll warn you. Excuse me. Getting old. My wife would say, what do you mean getting? Okay, all right, be like that. Okay. All right, so I've got a problem with the headset. This is something I haven't seen very much. One lens is obscured by a kind of screen of color. So I'll turn the headset off, turn it on again. Okay, we're going to have to get out of VR. I'll turn the headset completely off and see if that works. Okay, now we'll turn it back on and see if we can join. I'll have to go to the Pimax experience, I guess. Device disconnected. Yes, I know that. I'll hold the on button for a bit. Let's see what happens. The battery's on the light. And the blue light is on the headset, so hopefully we should be able to get connected here. Maybe not. Maybe what I've got to do... Yeah, see, it's not liking this very much. I think it's a Steam thing, though. Let's just see what we get when anytime I try something new. All right, Steam. Let's stop this. We'll stop it and we'll come back to it. Yeah, I'll leave Steam running. I'm going to shut down the Pimax client here. And I'm going to run it as administrator and see what happens. We'll see if we get it to start up. Shows a disconnect right now, but that's pretty normal. It'll disconnect. Now it's showing connecting. Right, so we're connected. And everything is copacetic. And I'm just going to look in the headset and see if I have... Yep, both eyes are now working. So let's go back to Steam. That is not a problem I've seen more than once or twice, but I discovered that what you need to do is just restart the headset, restart the game. I'm not sure what causes it. I think it could be a USB issue. Many of the issues we've had with the Pimax Crystal have turned out to be a problem less with the headset and more with the USB and motherboards on people's systems, including my own. So we'll launch in VR in Steam VR mode. And we'll see what we get. Lower that. All right, so it seems to be working. I'll just close the non-essential windows, put the headset on. Haha! Life is good. And the Pimax Crystal tells me when my eyes are centered precisely behind the headset, which is nice. Now, with the latest firmware and Pimax Play, I'm finding that I may have to go to a different foam, a thinner one, because I'm feeling like my eyes are a little bit too far away from the image. It still looks clear though, so while it's loading, I can tell you this: people who have ordered the lower res, wider field of view lenses should have them pretty soon. I haven't got mine yet, but I'm expecting to have it fairly soon. And we'll see what it looks like. I was watching my friend's channel, VR Flight Sim guy. He has a really good channel, and he's not all that impressed with it. But sometimes, you know, the funny thing is your eyes take a while to adapt. I was reading about this, you know, because back in the early days of the space program, NASA did an experiment with some of their astronauts, or candidates anyway. They got them to wear glasses that turned the whole world upside down. And in 2 or 3 days, their brains adapted and they saw everything upside right. Then when they took the glasses off, their brains had to learn to see things correctly again. So there you go. Let's just do, let's see, a quick start. I really love Isle 2. And this is the latest update. I was going to do this video yesterday, but there was a fairly big upgrade. Okay. Let's pick a spot. All right. I'm going to be a pain in the arse for somebody. Pain in the... Okay. Let's start. Is my joystick hooked up? Yes, it is. My feet are on the rudder pedals. As soon as we get into the game, I'm going to see if we have a pass-through mode. Or if I've done something... Gee, I just dropped something on the floor. Lucky it didn't land on my dog. There's my pass-through mode. Well, it's working perfectly. I don't know if you can see it. It's low resolution, but I can certainly see it well enough to put my hand on the throttle, although my hand looks smaller than in real life. And I can see my switch panel with the magnetos and all that stuff, and then there's the radios. Now, I don't think I could use this to tune a radio. I don't see it well enough. But I could certainly, you know, at least see where it is and then turn it off just with another tap. I hope. Ha! All right, there we go. Takes a little practice, I guess. All right, so start. Up for a duel. All right. I don't even know what I'm fighting here, but it looks like I've got a Camel. Wonderful airplane. Oh, now I've got to get centered in it. So let's do this. I think that... Boy, it's been so long time since I played this game, so I kind of... There we go. Oh, no. I guess maybe if I just hit the P button... And here it is here. There we go, that's centered. See, that's where that pass-through is useful. So we've got an albatross. I'm going full throttle. And the interesting thing is, of course, that people didn't use the throttle in these rotary engines very much. The Camel had one, but normally they used a flip switch and just set the throttle on max all the time. There's the little devil. Certainly looks clear. I do love the way the light plays on the wings of the aircraft. I mean, you're not going to be able to compare the graphics in IL2 with those of Flight Sim 2020, but it's still surprisingly good. In fact, I can see a little trail of engine oil in the exhaust off the albatross. Got to be very gentle on the controls here. If you spin the Camel, it's pretty hard to recover. Ground looks good. Practice, I just about spun it there. Just about. If I was flying against another human, I'd be in big trouble. Oh, it looks great though. I'm not crazy about the cloud. I'm not sure what my frame rate is for some reason. Maybe I forgot to turn FPS counter on. It does not seem anything like a jet fuel. I should turn next page on so that I can remember on more easily. I'm getting too old to turn my head 180 degrees and look behind me. I'm not sure if the flight model's changed on this or not. This doesn't really... I'm not really sure what airplane I'm in. I thought I was in a Camel, but maybe I'm not. Could this be the Snipe? I don't know. Try and get the pin centered in the ring. Gotta get really close to hit these guys. Wow. Forgot how sensitive the rudder was. We're a little far away, but let's see if I can see it. So far, so bad. Now I feel like I'm kind of balanced on the head of the pin. I guess maybe I don't know what a real Camel flew like, but the biggest problem you have in flight sims is you don't have. Oh, a nice damage model. I think the damage model's good. You can see things coming off the airplane when you hit it. I think I've jammed my gun. Yeah. How do I fix that? Oh, and I shut my engine off too. Okay, well. Something's gone wrong here. That's the pause. I can't remember what I set for the unjam button. That's a balloon. Let's see if I can land this thing. I think I've wasted enough of your time. The pass-through mode looks pretty good. Oh, I may have shot that guy down. I don't know. I just saw primary objective completed. So maybe he crashed. I don't know where the airfield is. That doesn't look like an airfield. Have to remap my joystick. It looks like a lot of my map keys aren't working anymore. Or else I'm just misremembering them. That's probably more likely. Well, I'm just gonna pick a spot here and set it down. Try not to break it too badly. I think almost as many Camels were written off in landing and takeoff accidents as were destroyed in combat, but I'm not sure. It's a tricky airplane. Once pilots got the hang of it, they loved it. But it was tricky. Boy, it doesn't want to slow down though, I'll tell you that. Oh, you want to land uphill if you can, Dave. Bounce, 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 bounce. Well, that was kind of pitiful. But that's our video about the latest version of Pimax Play and the pass-through mode. Yeah, pass-through mode actually works pretty good. Very happy about that, and quite happy with IL-2. Although I haven't played it in a while, I think it shows. But there you go. Okay, thank you for watching. I'm going to be doing some more videos, I hope, on the Crystal soon. I've been kind of busy with other things and health concerns, but I'm starting to feel a little bit better now, and I have a little bit more time. So hopefully I'll do some more videos. If you have any requests for things you'd like me to demonstrate on the Pimax Crystal, or if you've got new ways for me to look foolish in Flight Sim or any other sim, let me know. Trust me, though, I'm pretty good at doing that by myself. And I appreciate your being willing to sit through it as I go. Thanks, and we'll talk soon.